Jot this phrase down. It's one of the best to understand. Kids need to understand it. The same wind blows on us all. The same wind blows on us all. The wind of disaster, the wind of opportunity, the wind of change. The wind when it's upside down, the wind when it's favorable and unfavorable. The same wind blows on us all. The economic wind, the social wind, the political wind. The same wind blows on everybody. The difference in where you arrive in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, the difference in arrival is not the blowing of the wind, but the set of the sail. And that's what learning is all about, to set a better sail this year than last year. To set a better sail. The first 6 years of my economic life, I wound up broke. Second 6 years, I wound up rich. You say, well, the Democrats must have finally gotten power. No. It was not a political change. Here's what changed the second 6 years of my economic life. It was my philosophy that changed. The set of the sail of better thinking, correcting the errors of the past and picking up new disciplines for the future. That's all I had to do at the end of the first 6. Correct the errors of the past and then pick up some new disciplines for the future. And my total life changed. The second 6 years was totally different than the first 6 of my working life. And guess who can do that? Anybody. Now you can keep on the same path for the next couple of years as you have the past 2. But if you wish to, and maybe everything's okay for you and you don't need to, but if you need to make some changes, I'm telling you, you can start doing it today so that the next 2 years will be drastically different than the last 2. And anybody who wishes to do that can. And you can do it between ages 40 and 43. You can do it between ages 13 and 50. You can do it between ages 60 and 62. Any 2 years, any 5 years that you wish to drastically change from the previous 5, you can do it. If you wish to. Now this isn't written. This is not a law. Here's what it's called: opportunity. But if you don't know you can change, if you don't know you can drastically change your income, change your future, change your health, change your marriage, change everything. If you don't know that, some people then go year after year after year after year not making much change simply because they didn't get to the class. They never read the book. They never went to the seminar. They never made the discovery.
Boom! What's up, Team Gang friends? Vin here. It's 9 p.m., a little bit after 9. We have a special guest coming on in a minute or 2 or 3. I'm going to bring her on, and I just want to make sure that I'm on live. It looks like I am. That there was Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. That is a staple in understanding and then creating the proper mindset to building a network marketing business. Without listening to that audio, I'm just telling you right now, it's going to be a challenge. It's something that you ask anyone, anywhere, anytime. Anyone who's created 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures in network marketing, they know that disc, they know that audio word for word for word. The thing is now, too, is because years ago we used to give those out and sell those discs at cost at events. It's become such a digital world right now that you have to seek that out. So that's Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, building your network marketing business. Everyone who wants to succeed, now we're going into 2020, anyone who wants to really win in the year of 2020 will listen to that audio at least once a week. Now tonight we're going to speak about being system-driven versus people-driven. First, I want to welcome all the new affiliates, all the new people to the team. I want to congratulate all the new affiliates, all the new customers, all the prospects. If you're looking at a business right now and someone invited you to take a look at a training, we have trainings because it's funny too, because a lot of people will look at a business and say, is that for me? I invite people to look at trainings that we have. And the reason I do that as well is because a lot of times people, when they look over a business, it's will they have the support? So I'm just here to tell you we have tremendous support. We have systems in place between Facebook system, Facebook messaging system. We have a separate team website that we do live streaming on that'll be coded to you specifically. It goes right to your back office. So we have some really amazing things. We have a private Facebook training group, as well as a private Facebook prospecting group. So that's what it's about, being system driven. I want to speak about that tonight. And before I really get into it, I want to congratulate Leslie again on hitting 5K. And we have Leslie with us here. Let me see if I can just bring her on with us now. Let's see if that, and there we go. Leslie, are you on? Let's see if do we have your audio? We do. We
yeah.
do. We have Gotcha. How'd you get on? Okay with this new technology?
Yeah, it was easy.
Yeah, just click the link and that's it. So that's good. This. So I want to say congratulations. I haven't seen you, haven't spoken to you in a few days, and great job. I mean, you have an amazing team that's just really exploding. And it's fitting that you came on here to speak to the team about that. If you don't know Leslie, Leslie just is growing an incredible organization, again, a 5K affiliate. And you have people that are really rank advancing in your group as well. And, you must be system driven since you are very, very busy, a dean of students. Maybe you could speak about that because I know when you're at work at school, you don't really have the time there, or you can't necessarily operate your franchise, your online franchise from work, right? And a lot of people, but you're doing it in your time. So maybe you can talk about being system driven and the personal development and how you blending this into your very busy lifestyle.
Not to negate what you're saying, but this is a little bit about a people business, because if we weren't able to connect with people, then we wouldn't be able to teach them the systems. You would agree?
100%. I'm talking about being people driven, system driven, as opposed to people driven, not being all things to all people and allowing the system to teach your team.
Okay, so yes, I'm very tired. I was stuck in an airport for a very long time. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same wavelength.
Yes.
How do I do this when I really don't have that much time? I am an organized person, but not like so organized that I have Excel spreadsheets or anything like that. Like, I just have an idea, hi, Darlene, of every single day, what I want to do, who I want to connect with, what messages I want to send. And I write that out in the morning when I first wake up. That's why I wake up sometimes at 3:30. That's why I say to you, oh my God, why 9 o'clock, Vinny? Because I'm tired already. But I have a path of purpose of what I want to accomplish in a day, because I don't have much time. In order to continuously be working on my growth mindset, I mean, I have at least 45 minutes. Thank you very much, Amanda, to an hour on the way in the morning. So I do listen to music for part of that. And then I do plug in and listen to a podcast or something that is going to get my mindset right for the day. And then the second I leave the building, I have to do the same thing, because in all honesty, there's a lot of negative energy that comes with my position. So in order to get my mindset right, to get back into, now I'm going to put in the work in my business, I have to use my car as like a rolling university, so to speak. Like, I have to. So if I'm being given the gift of time in my commute, then I need to make the most of it and use it wisely. So many people are like, I don't have the time. I know we're all pressed for time, but even if you have 20 to 30 minutes a day, if you're not working on your growth mindset, your business is just not going to grow.
Love that.
First and foremost.
Well, and one of the things that really hit home with me is because you are an educator. Maybe just a quick background on that, because this isn't really an overview, but you mentioned the educational system that's in place here, and how you just said the personal development, the mindset, and using the system in order for your business to grow. But because I love that you said that it's an educational system, and we have that in place. So I mean, maybe you could differentiate, your background in education and why this is a different type of education and is necessary to grow an entrepreneurial franchise, a business.
I think that I'm starting to get a little bit more bold as we talk about this a little bit more, because the reality is, like, the educational system, like I said it over the weekend, and like, it's really true. I mean, it's kind of meant to keep people down, in all honesty. And like, in the beginning, when you would have me answer that question, I was like, kind of treading lightly, because it is my career, it is my profession. And students need to be able to be given the opportunity to learn how to think critically, read and write. But in all reality, we're really teaching to tests, and we're not really giving the students exactly what they need in order to survive and thrive in the ever-changing world that's really a global community and is really becoming more e-commerce based. So this is why I'm really so passionate about it. And it's also slightly conflicting, because I'm passionate about education, but this education is unlike any other that you're going to get anywhere. And it's so masterfully created and so simple. I mean, like, look, you sent out a bot reminder, get on the live. And if people just plug into this and look at the units that are available and just use the funnel systems that Josh has so like amazingly created, it's kind of dummy proof. You know, we can inspire you and motivate you on you know how you can go about learning the systems, but it really comes from like your own inner desire. And now Vinny will show you, you know, how it's all laid out for you. It's very, very simple.
Yeah, and it's well, let me go back to this view here. Hold on. It just is, and the only way to do it is to keep it simple. And I think like he's slipping my mind. The billionaire from Virgin Airways. What's anyway, but any entrepreneur, Elon Musk,
we all know the guy. We all know him.
Yeah. So, but we're talking about any fool can complicate things, but it takes a real genius to keep it simple. And keeping it simple is what makes it actually duplicatable. And really, the system like I just had up here put in place that Josh has put together from the company. Choice is 100% free, no cost to the affiliate. It's incredible. We have the autoresponder system and the contact management system. It's something that I've never seen in network marketing. We've always wanted it. You know, we go to ClickFunnels and Online Sales Pro and MLSP for all these other things. But even if you can master those things, it's not there for the team. And this is why I think tonight I really want to get into talking about, you know, being system driven over people driven, and why using the system is just critical to success. So Leslie, any last words? I know you have an early day, early rise.
I feel like I look cross-eyed right now. Is it just me? I'm like, looking at honestly, just so random. As luck may have it, I sat next to a millennial today on the airplane ride, and she's an 18-year-old girl from Buffalo who is attending FIT. And she, you know, is bright. Yeah, Richard Branson. There you go. I knew it was going to come. Thank you, Nick. She's like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I asked her, like, we were conversing, and it was like her first time on a plane. Like, it was pretty cute. And I said, you know, if you don't mind me asking, like, how are you paying for your tuition? And she said, well, you know, not to sound elitist or anything like that, but my grandmother did leave some money available for me, but it's inevitable that I'm going to have to take out loans. And I said, how much do you think? You know, I just started engaging her in conversation. And she's like, probably like $150,000. And I said,
oh my gosh, really?
You understand what that's going to entail for your life? She's like, yeah, but I really want to be a fashion designer. And I said, and I really think that you should shoot for the stars and, you know, like go all the way. But just think about that. And I said, like, let's stay in touch. I didn't talk about the business at all because it was her first time flying, you know, and then she had to take the subway back to FIT. And I said, the weather is bad. Connect with me on Facebook. Let me know that you got home, please. So she's already like, hi, Leslie, I got home. And I'm like, please stay in touch with me. Like, I'm just so excited to see, you know, where your future takes you, where you go to study, you know, in your junior year, you know, Milan or whatever. And I really want to like follow you, and let's, you know, I'm here as like someone who's an educator. I'm a little older. I've been there. I've done that. Like, let's stay in touch. You have to know that my mind is like, you know, turning, because the millennials are the future. And that's exactly who I've been envisioning to come into my organization.
Yeah. Well, you know what, too? It's, you know, when you ask her a question, do you understand what that is going to entail, $150,000? Most kids don't understand. Most adults, most people don't understand that that's a commercial loan. It's a front-loaded commercial loan. Is a student loan, and you know, and ironically enough, is that your sponsor's sponsor, Joy Schoenholz, who everyone here knows as the leader of this team, went to FIT and is a fashion designer, and this is, you know, a few years ago. And is now, you know, obviously building an online business, an online franchise, like what we're doing here. So, not to say, and this is the last thing I'll leave it with is and I guess I'll get into it too. This is the only thing you can do in addition to anything else.
Right.
Like with your busy schedule, you're a dean of students. I know you have like 3 master's degrees, whatever. But like, how the hell would you do anything else? Like, how would you start a franchise? The franchise fees are anywhere between $20,000 to $50,000, and that's just a free. That's just the front ended fees. That is, $6,000 a year just in marketing costs on average. And that's
and that's if I have like a brick and mortar franchise, like, and then who am I going to trust to run my business when I'm at work doing my career and keeping my profession, my pension intact?
Yeah.
Like it's not even realistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Les, listen, I appreciate your leadership. You have an incredible team, really great friends, great people, and congratulations again on your rank advancement. And you are a funny individual. I really enjoy your company. I really do. You're a great leader.
You.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And December 10K. Let's make this a December to remember.
Let's do it. Best
major goal.
Every month is a good month to build this business. So, truth.
Absolutely.
Appreciate Les.
Well, I hope I brought some value to you all, and I'll see you at the top. I'm going to sleep now.
You always do. Thank you, darling.
Bye.
Awesome. So there you have it. I mean, it goes to show. I love that Leslie's doing what she's doing. She's such a busy person. She's an educator. She's got, literally 3 master's degrees, and she's out there building this because she understands. Look, with a 6-figure income, a lot of people need to get involved and build another 6-figure income, and it's really the only business you can do it. And just in the last 3 or 4 years alone, e-commerce has almost doubled. Crazy. I mean, you hear Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and most things are being done online. Most commerce, we know it. So there's all these different pillars of what's making this happen. But really, with tonight's training, I want to kind of get into the mindset of being a business owner, and because this is a very easy business to do. It's also very easy to not do. I had we did a little some push-ups inside with the kids, and they were very easy to do, but they're very easy not to do. We hear the term, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but how many of us really eat an apple for 4 days in a row? Most people don't, So, you can eat it one day, and, you feel pretty good. I had an apple today. Then 2 days in a row, it's like, I ate an apple 2 days in a row. The third day, you're like, wow, I'm on a roll here. If you do that 4 days in a row, you're like, I am the man. I ate an apple 4 days in a row. I don't know. I just don't know many people who do that, but we know it. Like, we know all the answers to what we have to do. There's so much information out there in the ether that we're forgetting the very, very simple, basic things. And in this type of business, you've got to learn to become brilliant at the basics and point. Brilliant at the basics and point. The people that are most consistent, like when you think about it, how do you get fit? You do some squats, you do some push-ups, and you do some walking, right? If you did that every other day and ate pretty good, your results in 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, it'd be radically different than if you didn't do it and ate poorly, right? So it's those very slight things. There's a book that I have over on the shelf here called The Slight Edge. It's just a fantastic book to read for this industry, for any industry, just for life in general. And it speaks about successful people, what they do, and you compare it to unsuccessful people. And with successful people, all they really do are those very little things. They do those little activities. They do them consistently. They're so minuscule to do, actually, when you think about it. They do them in the course of, it seems like they're not doing much at all, but they do them consistently over and over and over and over again. And that's what causes the momentum. And you see that they're both similar, and then all of a sudden the curve changes. When you see friends that we haven't seen over the course of, let's just say, I have friends that I went to high school with 30 years ago, and we all look a little bit different than high school. But just let's just say over the course of a year, you gain 2 pounds. If you gain 2 pounds in a year, it's no big deal. But let's call it 3 pounds. Let's just say you gain 3 pounds in a year. It's not a big deal. But if you consistently do that over the course of 30 years, you're talking about 90 pounds. You've gained 90 pounds, and it's an easy thing to do. We all know how easy at least I know how easy that can be. But it's also easy to not do it when you think about what we can do. It's an easy thing to do. We just have to have discipline, and we've got to have consistency. So now with this type of businesses, see, we don't have a buy-in. And the reason, I'll just go over a couple different business models, and you've got to really internalize this if you really want to be extremely successful in this in this space. And this is tonight's training. I mean, we have all the units. Leslie said it. We have everything you need to know in the units. We have the CBDlaunchparty.com. We'll be doing the launches this week. Other trainings. We have the Facebook Messenger bot technology. We have. I mean, what My Daily Choice is put into place, and I'll rant about the opportunity and the business that we have in place. At the end, because it's nothing like it. But creating the proper mindset to be a business owner. Now, if you look at just, there's the employee model, and all of them work. They all work, okay? And so, but the employee model is the employee and the employer. And there's right off the bat, there's a conflict of interest when you think about it. I know when I was an employee, I wanted, not all the time, but you want to work as little as possible and get paid as much as possible. And then you have the employer that wants you to work as much as possible and pay you as little as possible. And there's some kind of middle road there that you agree on. And that's the model. And that model, ironically enough, is taxed at the highest rate. See, right now, there's all this going on, with the Trump will be running in 2020. We'll have people running against Donald Trump, and people are talking about they want to, tax the billionaires. High. It's all about taxes. It's all about entitlements. We're going to raise minimum wage. We're going to create new jobs. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you slice it. In the beginning of this training, we had Jim Rohn on, ROHN. No matter what, the same wind will blow on us all, right? The political wind, the economic wind, the social wind, all the different winds. The same thing is going to happen to the masses, right? It's just what we do, how we set our sails because we're creeping right into the year 2020. How are we going to set our sails? Are you going to lay the foundation to have a six-figure foundation for an additional six figures? Or, because again, you can have a lot of fits and starts, and it's hard to get a plane off the ground when you don't put it all, when you don't go all in. And so you have that relationship when you think about that model, right? The employee-employer model, and it's not going to change. Because when you do the math again, most people, if you have a family, if you have, aging parents, growing kids, no matter what it is, most people need an additional. I mean, forget the $500 a month. Yeah, that's all well and good. But the reality is people, to really change their life, have got to create an additional six figures on the side. And look, people are doing it with My Daily Choice routinely. I mean, this is happening like this. We have people rank advancing in our team all across the company. Now the company's going global with a business model that is obviously superior to the rest, because you have the employee model, then you have the business owner model, and most businesses, you have a tremendous buyout. I mean, again, franchises are between $20,000 and $50,000 buyout. Then there's a lot of franchise fees throughout the way, but that's not including the entire build out. The build out's on an average of $175,000 in your first year. Most franchises want to even out. They want to make their money back in the third to fifth year. So, and we're talking about heavy risk, and not everyone can do that. Not everyone monetarily can do that. Not everyone has the business skills to do that. And when you have a franchise, for the most part, you are geographically bound. You're bound to a certain zip code, a certain county, a certain, city. So you're bound to that area. And we're not, it could work. There's people that make millions of dollars as franchisees. And then there's obviously the franchisor. If you are the franchisor, you can, enroll other franchisees and make a percentage on everything that they do. And that's the network marketing model. I mean, that's the model. I mean, most people do not understand the model that they're involved in with this type of business, where everyone is both a franchisor and a franchisee. There's another model, and Justin Phillips and I were speaking about it today, about the real estate business and the mortgage business. You have the broker owner, and then you have the agents. Now, the broker owner has the leverage, and the agents, they don't. And I was talking to Justin too about this today, and we both said it. I mean, we know this. In order to make six figures in the real estate business, you've got to have at least a minimum of 2 closings a month. And to have 2 closings a month, that you've got to sell about 25 homes over the course of the year. You better be really freaking good at that, because a lot of people don't do that. In fact, statistically, 90% of people don't even do close to that. So, I mean, the statistics are similar everywhere. The statistics are similar in this industry too, in network marketing. The difference is the time and the money are very minimal that you have to put in here. Now, we're not saying that you do nothing and you get paid in this business, but this business has leverage like no other business does. Because when you look at the brokers and the agents, the brokers have leverage and the agents do not. All right, a broker may make, depending on the split, 60-40 or 50-50 or 75-25, right, with the agents. But the agents have no leverage. Every single penny that they bring in comes from all of their efforts. Where here in this model, we have everyone's a franchisee and a franchisor who get franchisors, and so on and so on and so on. You guys realize that we have a binary that has infinite levels deep. We have a 30% payout on our first level and 20% check match on our second level. Most people don't understand the fact of the matter is when you bring someone into this business, they can out earn you, and you want them to, because you're making that check match, not from them, but you're getting matching bonuses. So a lot of people are not understanding the fact that we have a business right now with the network marketing model that's come of age. Over the last 3 or 4 years, it's completely changed the landscape of business. And a lot of, traditional business owners, busy business professionals, just a lot of professionals. I mean, look, Leslie's, again, a dean of students. We have people on the team that have master's degrees, that have traditional business owners, that are real estate agents, real estate brokers. There's people across this entire profession that are doctors and attorneys and stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads and police officers and firefighters. Basically, they're coming to this space out of necessity, because when you do your math, and people go through their liabilities and their expenses, most people are just working 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours a week to keep food, clothing, and shelter, over their head, or with a roof over their head. So here, the mindset has got to be this: to understand the difference is to understand that we're building an asset. This is asset money. Passive income is a different type of income. This is not, earned income. It's not portfolio income. This is a passive income system that we have in place. And it's with the consumption of these products. So passive income is, one, it's taxed very differently, but it's not about making more money. What this business is about lowering your monthly nut. Let's just say your monthly nut is $4,000 a month. And you have your cell phone bill and your electric bill. Let's just say that's $300. And let's just say you have a car payment that's another $300. To get to $600 a month passively in this business isn't that difficult. You have to be very consistent, all right? And it does take work, but when you think about that, all you're doing is going from $4,000 a month to $3,400 a month, and you're literally now keeping the money that you make from your job or from your business. So it's a different mindset shift. When I got started in this industry, I initially wanted to make $1,800 a month. I said, if I can make $1,800, because I remember I had closed a mortgage prior to getting to network marketing, and it was a small home equity line of credit, and I had gotten paid. I had gotten paid $1,800, and it really helped out that month for us. I said, this is really great. And so I came in with the mindset saying, if I can make an extra $1,800 a month. And then I was introduced to some books and some audios. And Leslie said it too. Look, without plugging in to personal development and, understanding this business model, understanding the difference between assets and earned income, asset income and earned income, without really internalizing the difference, it's a struggle. So I read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, a lot of people have heard of it, and when I read it. It was one of those books that I remember where I was sitting down, and I wasn't a big reader at the time. I was in a living room in our old home, and I read this book, and it's one of those books that I just couldn't put down. I just couldn't put the book down. And then in watching Robert Kiyosaki's stuff and really, having him as a mentor, he had mentioned his second book that that we should read in that order: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, then Cash Flow Quadrant. When I read Cash Flow Quadrant, there was a shift that happened for me. And it's ironically enough, our team sponsor, Robert Hollis, who's earned multiple 8 figures. We didn't even collaborate on speaking about this once, but we were speaking on a Facebook Live on a launch, and he was speaking about that book, The Cash Flow Quadrant. and how we have a lot of personal franchisees within our organization. We have a lot of assets. We're building assets within our asset. And he said that that book has had a profound effect on his life, on his mindset. And it was the same thing for me. Now, the quadrant is, the employee and the small business owner is one side of the quadrant, and they value security. So it comes down to your core values. This is why sometimes when you speak to people about this type of business, without people even knowing it, it's their core values sometimes that are hit, And this is why you never want to say, oh, it's a JOB, stands for just over broke. Oh, 40-40-40 club. We don't want to de-edify what people are doing, but it's a matter of taking people through a process. We'll always hear these terms. We'll always hear the process. We'll always hear mindset. We'll always hear skill set. We'll always hear execution and consistency, because it takes time to go from the security side of the quadrant to the freedom side of the quadrant. And that side is to be the big business owner, which is network marketing, and the investor. Now, investors always invest in systems. If you ever watch Shark Tank, they never invest in people. They invest in systems. And you'll hear Mr. Wonderful say on Shark Tank, well, if you get hit by a bus, I lose my investment, right? So this is why you want to be really system-driven here. This is what I want to drive home with this business. Now, with tonight's training. So maybe this is you, maybe not. I'll just go over a couple scenarios and a few coaching calls that I did recently. So one gentleman, I believe, is watching right now. Good guy, funny guy, and I enjoy his conversations. He just had like 20 or 30 pre-enrollees come into the system, and it was excellent. He went into a Facebook thread, and he got in there, and he got into the conversation, and he was networking, and had like 20 or 30 pre-enrollees. And all these pre-enrollees came in. So I said, how are you following up with them? And he says, well, I'm going to give it a few days, and I'm going to call them. And I said, well, what we want to make sure that we're doing is using this system. It's in place. We have, myhempworkspot.com. We have the Facebook Messenger bot. We have launches, and we have the Team Freedom page. So we have all of these things to help take the prospects and put them in the river. What I mean by the river is we have a flowing system going on right now. This live is part of it. We have lives here. We have launches on the team, on the page. We have Tuesday night, Thursday night we do launches. We do launches during the week. We just want people. We have all the units. So a lot of people want to get into it. They want to explain CBD to people. They want to explain the travel to people. They want to explain network marketing. They want to explain the compensation plan. And you want the system to do that instead, because the system is always awake, right? The system's awake 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't make any mistakes, for the most part. I mean, we're all human doing our lives and our launches. But when people want different flavors, this is why we have so many other guests come on to these shows here, so people can hear it from other guests, right? It's like going to a restaurant. If they had only one meal, you'd say, well, like, I want a variety. So we have a variety of different things. When you go on the units, we have the compensation plan shown by different people. We have, overviews shown by different people. We have the units. We have, all the different news channels. We have all the different doctors. We have all the different, people who've done different launches. So people can identify, and it's also given that third-party validation, which is key. So being system-driven will allow you to focus on what's really important, and that's your mindset, skill set, and building a business. Because for building a business, you're going to understand over time the numbers that go into a business. And what do I mean by that? Let's just say you have, I'll use the baseball analogy because most people know what baseball is. Most people know that in order to get 170 hits in baseball, you're going to need about 500 at-bats, all right? And so that means you're going to be out. Like, in other words, if you're out 7 out of 10 times in baseball, you bat 300. If you do that over the course of a career, you go to the Hall of Fame. All right. If you are out, 7.3 times, you bat 270, you're going to get paid millions of dollars. But you have to have that many at bats in order to get that many hits. Too many people get hung up on a couple of different at bats, a couple of different scenarios, and they stop there, right? If you name any Hall of Fame player, they've all had slumps. It's funny because Yogi Berra used to say, "I'm not in a slump. I just ain't hitting." So I remember Derek Jeter. They said it was when he was dating Mariah Carey, but he was in like an 0 for 50 or 0 for 40, some crazy slump. But again, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. If you look at Ricky Henderson is the all-time base stealing. He's got the stolen base record all time, and most people think it'll never be touched. So he's the number one base stealer of all time. Guess who's the number one CS caught stealing? You know who got caught stealing the most? Ricky Henderson, right? Do you know who's the all-time strikeout record? Is Babe Ruth, right? So you have so many of these people. You know who Babe Ruth is. Most people, if you know baseball, you know Ricky Henderson. You certainly know Derek Jeter. And not to be touching upon Yankees, it has nothing to do with that. But I'm just saying, Ted Williams, right? But that's how you could focus on the numbers in this business. Here's an example. If you were to have 2 pre-enrollees a day, now who can do that? Pretty much anyone can do that. I mean, we train on the 5-5-3, so let's just call it 3 pre-enrollees a day. Let's just say you had to do that. That's what you have to do. No matter hook or crook, no matter what you've got to do, you've got to acquire 3 pre-enrollees a day. In fact, let's just say you got paid $500 for every pre-enrollee. Just a pre-enrollee. That was what you had to do. They have to agree to watch the video, right? $500 for every pre-enrollee. Here's the catch. So that would be $1,500 a day. I mean, who would do that? Everyone would line up to do that, right? But here's the thing. If you miss it any day, you're never allowed to do it again. You can't be part of the business anymore, and that's where your consistency comes in. Because if you were to do that every single day over the course of 1 month, you'll have 90 pre-enrollees, all right? Even if you did 1 a day, you're going to have 30 pre-enrollees, but you've got to do that every single day. If you just focused on that one thing, and you use myhempworkspot.com. You use, our launches, text people, let them know when the launches, have them opt into our bot, and they're getting notified when we go live. And then you use, look, all the trainings that we have in the Team Freedom Training System Facebook page, we have training on how to, create a Facebook friends list. So what does that mean? That means to take all your friends, all your pre-enrollees, and itemize that list into a friends list. So you would call it Facebook pre-enrollees, right? Then what you do, it's right there in the training system. How to do it, you call it that. You put in Hempworx pre-enrollees list, all right? Then you click on the refresher button, and everyone that you pre-enroll comes right up in your Facebook feed. So you can interact with those people. Hit a like, hit a comment. So now you're interacting with your pre-enrollees, all right? When you do that, Facebook is going to intentionally create the algorithm where you're seeing one another, and you're developing a relationship, building a relationship. The next thing will happen when you invite them to a launch, they're going to see it. They're going to more likely get on it. So you're interacting with people. That's all we're doing with the follow-up. We don't have to chase people around. We don't have to, to call up your sponsor and say, hey, listen, I have this one guy. If they do this, they'll be great. The last thing you want to do is go chasing around 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people. If you just stay consistent and focus on everything and let the system do what it's doing, and listen to like what Leslie said before, someone else put that up too before, and I want to bring that up. Hold on a second. So it's here. Let me grab something here. So it was a comment that I wanted to add. All right. This is great. All right. So Rebecca says this: I drive most of the day. I use my car time to do my training and listen to motivational things. Awesome, right? So it's that. And listen, what I do too, and I just spoke to Joy about this. What I do too is I'll watch other launches. I'll watch other, I'll see the big leaders in the company, and I'll find them on Facebook, and I'll watch their videos. And that's what I've done. So you want to have, belief in the product, in the company, in the industry. With the industry, I'll listen to, things with Robert Kiyosaki and Eric Worre. I'll read these books like Beach Money, stay plugged into that. And as far as, I've read John Maxwell books and books from Miles Monroe, and those are books on leadership, books on communication. Now, again, this isn't to say let's just sit around and read books all day. We, read 10 pages. If you were to do 10 pages a day over the course of the year, you would have outread most people in any industry. This is how you put yourself on the side of the angels, all right? And last thing I'll say is your belief in yourself, because it's product, company, and the industry. Once you have those three beliefs, you're ready to take on the world. The last belief is in yourself. And when you go and when you prospect somebody and you say, hey, like here's one that I've used, is not to say I've used it, but like today I went and I got lunch. I gave this young man my business card, and I told him, I said, this is my website. Go to that website, put your name and email address in. And he was a younger fella. I told him, we launched a business, an online CBD franchise. If you know anyone that's looking for a side hustle, it's an incredible business. And, his eyes lit up instantly. So some people are speaking CBD instantly and hemp, and I'll just talk about it, an online franchise. I mean, look, let's be real here. CBD, hemp, cannabis, and that's going to take us for the next 10 years. So that's a very easy conversation, something easy to speak about. But I talk about an online franchising because that's in essence of what we're doing. And, we have an online franchise. If you look up the definition of a franchise, it's having, a business, a brand, a support system, the advertising and marketing, all the things that are really done for you, the websites, everything's done for you. All you've got to do is acquire customers. In our case, we've just got to put it out there. We've got to do the word of mouth marketing and acquire customers. So that little added thing that we've got to do the word of mouth marketing, and there's a lot of ways to do it. You can, people will say that what about road signs, or what about Facebook ads, or what about, going on Craigslist, or what about, everything works. All right. Some things just work better than, what about having a booth what about I just use Facebook Instant Messenger. That's all I've done. For the most part, I use Facebook Instant Messenger, and I use the telephone. I text and I call. I says, you got a second, or I've sent the link. Check this link out. I threw my hat in cannabis space. For the most part, I've really done. All right. I've had some people inbox me. They've seen some page, some things that we've put out there, and some people have inboxed me. Right. We have some people on here that it does work that way. But for the most part, you're going to want to be proactive and reach out to people. And when you do that, the last belief will come in. You'll start your belief in yourself. You'll get to believe in yourself that you can do it. All right. And as long as you internalize the fact of the numbers is, if you're out 7 out of 10 times, you bat 300 and you go to the Hall of Fame. Flat out. So we have in place systems. And I just want to, for a minute before we get going, is I want to talk about this this company and what they're doing and how it's so different and why you should follow, Robert Hollis and make sure that you're in the Jay-Z mastermind group, following Jenna Zweigel, and following a lot of the leaders, what's going on in this company, on businessforhome.org, what this company's done. We have say is my opinion. We have the fastest growing company in the network marketing space. We have the fastest growing company in the CBD oil space. We have, major network marketing leaders that have come to this company. All right. People that have spoken on the stage of the GoPro network, Eric Worre's GoPro. We have a compensation plan that if you understand compensation plans, it's smooth and it's fair and transitions properly. There's not breakage in the beginning. I've been in deals where there's breakage in the beginning and a lot of the money goes up to the top earners. Now, in some cases in the past, I've been a top earner, so it was beneficial, but for us, but the problem was people on our team were not getting compensated for a lot of their actions. And here, because of the jumpstart bonuses, usually after the person that you personally enroll, the person that they enroll, that money goes all the way up to the top earners. But here it doesn't. It goes right to you. It goes to so in other words, you can get started today and enroll someone tomorrow, who enrolls someone, who enrolls someone, who enrolls someone, and you personally get paid on all of that. All right. And so that's a very big deal. All right. Another thing is there's no line requirements, meaning you don't have to have 3 left, 3 right. You don't have to have, you know, from one side and 2 personal 5Ks on the other side to become a 100K affiliate. And so you're not leaving money on the table if you're not putting your future in other people's hands per se, right? So there's no line requirements. That's an enormous deal. It's just and a lot of people don't understand how big that is until they have got to. In other words, I've been in comp plans where you had to have certain amount of people in certain lines that had a certain requirement, right? And if you lost one customer on like your 8th level on one of your lines of business, you didn't even know it. Like you wouldn't have even known where that customer. Meanwhile, you pay 1 month if it's supposed to be $25,000 is $12,000. You're like, wait, I don't get it. What happened? And you see it up pay. That doesn't happen yet. That's a friggin' that's an enormous deal, right there. We are also we're not a cycle-based binary, right? We're not cycle-based. That's an enormous thing. We're a straight-up volume-based binary. Not only are we a straight-up volume-based binary, but we are right out of the jump, right out of the gate. Your first day, as long as you're an executive in the business, you are paid at 15%. You're getting paid the same amount as a 250K affiliate, same percentage as a 250K affiliate that makes $50,000 a month. You're getting paid the same percentage. So you don't have to work all the way for your pay to go up. It starts at 15% the day you sign up as an executive, the day you decide to become an executive, and that you could do by acquiring 200 points, and you could do that on your own. Another huge factor, back to if it's a cycle-based compensation plan compared to a volume-based, you usually will have to have one side of your business twice the size of your pay side. And if it's not, all that volume's going to the company. So if you have perfectly balanced legs, then you're leaving money on the table. Here, you're getting all of it. It's a huge fact. It's a huge deal that most people don't see it. And this is really why I'm here. When you talk to people like Joy Scholnotz, you talk to Robert Hollis, and we go over this. This is a really big deal. If you look at Robert's business, and I have friends that are making similar money as Robert's making in another company, right? But they have like 5 people that are making decent money, and about 15 people that are making money, period. All right. In their organization, I have personal friends of mine that are doing, $50,000 plus a month. Another business I was involved in, right? And I left. And they have about 10 to 12 people that are getting paid in their entire organization. Here, Robert has 326 people that are getting paid, so that he's getting check matched on. That's a huge deal. That is long-term growth. What's happening now with the 1K, 2, and congratulations across the board. We have so many people that have hit, 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K affiliate. And Joy just hit 25K affiliate again. And Bobby and Leslie, just like across the board. I don't want to start naming names and leaving people out, but it's happening, and it's supposed to be the slowest month. Like November's supposed to be the slowest month, but it's not, and it was our best month. And December's going to be an incredible month too. Why? People are coming here out of necessity. What are they going to do? You can't get a second, third job. People are doing that. People are right now in a space that's not good. I mean, it's a traditional economy. You can blame whoever you want to blame. You can go and you can blame the government, you can blame the corporations, you can blame they're not giving me Medicare, I want more of this, no, right? And, this is the 21st century. Then the 21st century, 20th century was very different than the 20th century. And things are changing in a big, big way. We were acquiring new expenses. Like we didn't have 15 years ago, I didn't have multiple cell phone bills and cable bills and Netflix bills. We didn't have all that. So now people are acquiring new expenses. The price of things are going up. The value of the dollar is going down. And people want, the government to do something about it or someone else to do. People have got to take responsibility. And they're coming to network marketing out of necessity. I mean, how else are you going to do it? Then you have, Generation X, right? Generation X and baby boomers. It's not like we're getting that much younger, around and do another job, 8 hours here, 10 hours there, and work all weekend. I mean, look, I got nothing against being. I was in the mortgage business. I get it. Realtors, you're gonna get your real estate license, and now what? You're gonna go run around all weekend, showing houses all weekend. Who wants to do that? When you have something right now with a global reach, we have literally global expansion with a debt-free company with products that across the board that are consumable. They're inexpensive. We have a 60-day money-back guarantee. We have 15 marketing websites. We have webcasts and webinars and launches going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, basically. We have systems in place to let anyone become successful. So all you've got to do is share the system with people. That's in essence what we're doing, is we're sharing a system. Yes, we have incredible CBD, and it's amazing. It really is. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why this company is exploding, is because getting people in the door with the curiosity about cannabis and hemp and CBD, and the fact that the product works, again, inexpensive, 60-day money-back guarantee, and American-made products, and then the sprays, and then the travel, and the different branding. And I can't say enough about the company, but the reality is it's all about the system that is keeping people not only engaged, but it's giving them the ability to succeed as long as you're getting pre-enrollees. Pre-enrollees are people, make sure that you understand what that means. It's people opting into your website, and that's really all it is, all right? Another training, I'm not going to do it tonight, and I appreciate people coming on. I want to teach people and show people how to create momentum very quickly. Maybe I'll just do a quick video, and I'll put it onto the training system page. But really how to create fast momentum using the system and setting your rotator in the binary tree, all right? And doing that, and you can boom, 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 boom. You can start, excuse me, very fast momentum. That's how we did it. That's how we continue to do it. And that's how, when you have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 pre-enrollees and you let them all know what's happening and that they have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 people under them, it's a big deal. And people see that and they want to know more. It gets more curiosity. You plug them into the system, plug them into the team, plug them into the river, and let them see what's happening. And they have no choice to get started because, again, people are coming here out of necessity. We get the coolest business in the world. I appreciate everyone coming on. I just wanted to really touch upon making sure that you're system driven, making sure that you use the system to answer all your questions. No matter what the question is, it's a good question. Here's my website. It's a good question. It's on the Facebook page. It's a good question. Just let people see what we have available to them. Don't herd them on the side and answer everyone's questions for everything. Just make sure that they know where the system is. All right. So with that, Team Gang friends, I appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks for all the comments and stuff, and I'll see you guys at the top. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you.